everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems, hoping that you're doing well on this Wednesday. I am going to be running this show by myself this afternoon, so I'm going to need some help from you as an audience. I need to make sure that everything is going to be coming out through sound-wise. Usually Patrick and I are doing this together, so you are going to be helping me and kind of be my co-host this afternoon. Today, we're going to be doing an interview with Jude, and you're going to really enjoy this. Now, this is a recorded video and a recorded interview that Patrick did last week, and I'm going to be showing excerpts from that this afternoon. So, okay, great. Nevin says it sounds good, so I appreciate that. That's very good to know. And then once I start playing these videos, if in a moment, if you don't mind just making sure that you just let me know that the sound's coming through on the video, that will be extremely helpful as well. So it looks like we've got a good group of folks here, Amber and Mar and Bobby and Christina, Coretta, Lisa, Simi, good to see you. Everybody is looking great this afternoon. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're staying cool. Man, we are in a heat wave through here in the South, and especially here in Texas. So hopefully everybody's got their ACs on and doing okay. So we're going to have a great time this afternoon. Remember that the Q&A box is open. So anytime during the interview today, feel free to pop on over there. I'll pop up that screen here just real quickly so you can see. There's the Q&A box. So just type in anything that you'd like to ask a question about, and we'll see what we can do to help answer that question. Remember, folks, this webinar, it'll fly by pretty quickly. So make sure that you've got your questions as you're going to need those answered for you today. It really is a privilege to kind of be one-on-one with you this afternoon. And so so any questions that you have, throw them at me. And if I can't answer them, I'll make sure we get it to the right person. Let me introduce myself. Some of you may be on the webinar for the very first time. My name is Eric Ogea, and you're probably thinking, what role do I play? Well, I've been a part of the ABS family and the Patrick Phillips family for over 15 years. Patrick and I met, back 15, 16 years ago, and actually moved me up from one part of Texas up to here, and been working with them ever since. And today it's just, like I said, it's my privilege to be on the webinar with you and help answer some of your questions and help you out here. 15 of those years, I can say I've been a part of that for ABS's 28 years. It is so good to see that a company has been around through recessions, improvements, and everything else that goes along within the business world. But ABS has stayed steady. And if you're looking for a company to join, in which you can make sure that you know it's going to be here for another 28 years. This is the company that I believe that you're going to want to be a part of. Now, obviously, this is all about medical reimbursements and medical billing, and you're going to become a reimbursement specialist. We'll get into what all that means here in just a moment, but you couldn't do that without a specific billing platform. Ours is called iClaim and it's /EMRX, because that means that you've got a billing system and an electronic medical record system, along with a complete patient portal inside of it. And for those that know anything about medical billing, you have to have a clearinghouse to make sure that you do all of your work. I mean, you can do all the work inside of a piece of software all day long, but if you don't have connected to a clearinghouse, which there are several clearinghouses out there, I'm not saying that we're the only ones, but what the difference is that we're the only one that has a clearinghouse built inside of our billing system. So I'm going to encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to go and check out and see this in action, get back with the person who invited you to the webinar today and ask them to do a live demo for you. There's a lot of things you'll learn during that demonstration, so you're going to want to be a part of that and listen into that. Besides just the software and besides all the training that you get all these different services. Now, this comes with all of the package. This is not something you have to piecemeal together. It's not like you're going to have the $28,990 investment plus having to pay for all these different things. This is all included. And the great thing about it is, with any new services that come along in the future, that's also included. So ABS never will come back and knock on your door and say, hey, if you'd like this service, this is going to be another $5,000, another $10,000 that we're going to need for you to add this to your package. No, everything that's added on from here on out, you are already included. So again, when you're looking for a business opportunity or a franchise and just knowing that that's part of their package, you might want to listen to them, but I can't think of any others. And we're going to talk about some other things that ABS has that a lot of folks, others don't have. Now, the great thing about ABS over their 28 years, they have had some great technology partners come on board with them. You can imagine being in business for as long as ABS has, a lot of our technology partners actually come to us and asking, hey, what can we do to be a part of what you're getting out to your business owners through medical billing? And so a lot of these folks have come on board because they've actually heard from us. Some of them we sought out with them, and sometimes just very mutual. So folks, we're strong with our technology partners, and we just look forward to you to come out and just take a look at everything we had. Now, let me tell you, this all started with this young couple here, Linda and Patrick Phillips. Linda was actually doing medical billing way back in the days when the TV was black and white. No, I'm just kidding. I think they actually had color back then. But anyway, they started medical billing. It was when, if you remember what a typewriter was, and still around, those were the days that Linda was doing billing. And obviously it's come a long, long way from whenever she started. But what happened was that Patrick saw an opportunity, a business opportunity that he could develop and teach others what was taught to Linda. And that's how this actually came about. And adding the new services and putting everything together is what's created this environment in this world known as American Business Systems, and the folks that help support you in getting this going. Patrick has written several books. He has written a book called How to Reprogram Yourself for Success, The New Thriving Medical Practice, and Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. You can order these books off of Amazon.com. The How to Reprogram Yourself for Success book is an incredible book. If you'd like to have a hands-on copy of that, go get it out at Amazon. Just go check it out. You're going to want to know that, because he really kind of talks about hitting that ceiling, what you think of how much money that you can actually make. And it's a wonderful kind of a rags to riches type of story. So it's a really great book that you will want to get. Not only is he a prolific author, but he has written several articles, and so is Adam Phillips, our CEO now, has written different articles in what's called the BC, the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine. So they're both contributing authors to this particular magazine. Obviously, Adam has done some more articles and probably getting ready to do some more. So check that magazine out. It's got some great articles out there that you're going to want to go through. Now, let me tell you about this group called MIRMA. MIRMA is the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. And this is important for you to know, because this is the group that will actually certify you as a certified medical revenue manager. And the reason that we have this is that once you get through your training, you get through your training week or 2 weeks or however long it takes you, once you've completed the training here, then MIRMA will then certify you per all the requirements that were made during your training. They'll certify you, and then that gives you the opportunity, when you're creating your business cards or anything else, you can put CMRM at the end of your name. And that tells the doctors and everybody else that you have been certified as a medical revenue manager by the MIRMA group, and then you can always point them to there. There's a full board of directors that's there. So it's a legitimate place, a legitimate certification that you're getting there. And so this helps you, because a lot of people are asking, what am I going to do if I'm just getting started in billing? Why would a doctor trust me? Well, number one, you're back behind MIRMA. Now, the reason we don't put it back to ABS, we don't want them to think that they're coming back to American Business Systems. So the Medical Revenue Management Association of America is there for you. Now, again, before we kind of get started here, let me remind you again to do some of your questions at any time during this interview today. I'm going to be switching back and forth between some screens here to make sure that you're getting some of the interview. I also have some other slides I may be sharing with you during the presentation today. So this is kind of going to be fun. It's going to be a little bit of mixture and kind of a mix up from what Patrick and I normally end up doing, or just with a regular interview. Now, Jude was interviewed last week. I'm very impressed with his interview. Folks, it's one of these stories that you're going to want to kind of really pay attention to, because when Patrick was interviewing Jude last week, Patrick asked him some questions that he thinks that you would want to know. And Jude is just a guy that's been, I think he was and he still is, an engineer, has had zero experience in medical billing and zero experience in sales. So a lot of you who are kind of concerned about, gosh, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to make this thing work? I'm not great in sales. I am not a salesperson. I've never been in medical billing before. This is one of the reasons why we wanted you to hear portions of his interview. So as I get ready to kind of swap over to here, and again, just to make sure that I'm being heard okay, if I can just get one or more, two people to say, yep, I'm hearing you loud and clear and we're ready to watch the video, I'll move on to the next section here. So if I can get a couple of folks to just pop in there and the Q&A and just make sure that I'm not just talking to a blank screen. Great. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Now, I know Jennifer's not the only one out there, but as long as Jennifer can hear, I'm good. So here we go. All right. All right. Here we go. Thumbs up loud and clear from some other folks there, James and Amber. Thank you so much. All right. Here we go. I'm going to get switched over to here and see what we can do to share our next little screen here on this recording here. And then I may turn off my video just to make sure that things are being heard. All right. So here we go. We're going to get started here. And here's the first part of the interview between Patrick and Jude.
Now, are you doing this full time?
Now, before I go any further, is everybody hearing Patrick okay there? Can I just maybe give a thumbs up there real quick? I want to make sure it's coming through the speakers. So if Nevin, if you're still on there, I'm going to play it a little bit more if you just don't mind giving me a little feedback. Okay, great.
No, sir. I'm not.
No. So you work a full-time job?
That's correct. I kept my full-time job, and then I do this right now. I'll say less than part-time even.
So how many hours now do you put in on this business?
So I'll say in a week about 5 to 10 hours
okay.
that I dedicate on this in a week. The reason for that is because I have employees now, right? They take care of all the operations, the marketing. I have in-house marketers. I have in-house operations guys that handle everything that I used to do by myself.
Well, so Jude, why don't you give us an overview of where you're at in your business right now, and then we'll go back to the beginning and kind of talk about how you got your first client and so forth. So where are you right now? Do you have several clients?
Yes, sir. I have at the moment 7 clients that I'm billing for. All of them are not full-time, so some of them are still one leg in, one leg out. So 4 practices are, however, they're full-time. The other 3 are part-time and sometime. So
part-time and sometime, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
that's where I currently stand.
No wonder you need some employees. How many people do you have working for you doing the billing?
I have 4 billers, 1 coder, and then 3 marketing staff.
Okay, so Jude, explain to me, you still have another job? Why is that? Wouldn't this provide you a pretty good income if you have that many clients?
They do, but I keep I'm an electrical engineer, you already know that. I still keep that. The goal is to get to a certain financial point. And when I get to my number, then I'll be comfortable walking away from that career.
Yeah.
But for now, I haven't hit that number yet. So
Well, that's a pretty high number, it sounds like, but that's great. You got some good goals, and hey, there's nothing wrong with keeping a secure, steady, revenue job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, does anybody help you with the business other than these people that you've hired? Your a spouse or partner, or?
So my spouse, typically when we started, we used to go out marketing, passing out flyers, but we started doing the billing ourselves, but it got overwhelming. So she went on to do something else. So I kept at it, and when I started hiring workers, the workload became less and less for me. And right now, like I said, I mostly take calls for maybe the doctors need something done immediately, or they have a question about some client that they're looking for a receipt and they cannot use iClaim or to manage, then I'll guide them. So, okay, this is what you do, this is what you do, and that's about it. I can receive on a typical day maybe 3 to 4 calls. That lasts about maybe 5 to 10 minutes max.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. So you're the manager, you're the owner, you're the supervisor. You don't do any of that any of that grunt work anymore, huh?
No, I don't. I mostly do quality control. So in the weekends, so Saturday mornings is when we have a staff meeting. So everybody, marketing, operations, everybody, we come together and we go through every account. What went well, what went wrong, how can we improve? Every single account in-house, we check every single one of them.
Good.
Look at AR, look at backlog, everything, make sure the operation is running smoothly. So that's where the majority of my time is spent, on that quality control.
Yeah. Now, how many of your clients are actually you're using iClaim to do the billing for, or do you use some of their systems that they were using before you found them?
So the first client that I have, she switched and took iClaim. The second, the same iClaim. The third, she already had iClaim and she was just looking for a billing company, someone to do the service.
Yeah.
The fourth, brand new practice was iClaim also. The fifth came along and they didn't want to go with iClaim for whatever reason. So they picked a different system. I worked with them for a year, and 3 months ago they switched to iClaim.
Oh, good.
The sixth client, she had a different system and she got a bigger contract and decided to switch over to iClaim because the other system wasn't transparent. There's a lot of things wrong with it. I won't list it here. And then the seventh client, and right now I'm talking with the eighth. We've already come to a verbal agreement. I've sent her the contract. She just needs to sign it and send it back, but she doesn't want to go with iClaim. So I was like, okay, I'll work with you with what you have. The system that she was proposing, I'd worked with one of the existing clients already, and I told her it's no good. So she was looking for something else. But for some reason, she doesn't want to go with iClaim. Like, okay, your choice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to switch back over to me just real quickly because I don't want you to just get burned out of just watching just the video. But I want to jump in here real quickly about iClaim because Jude is talking a lot about iClaim. And I mentioned that earlier on, and I wanted just to kind of share with you a little bit of what he's thinking, what he's doing, and what he's done. A lot of folks that get into the business right now always wonder, do I always have to lead out with iClaim? Well, as you just heard, the answer is no. You don't always have to use iClaim. What we do, what we teach you here at American Business Systems is to be a medical revenue cycle manager, which means that if you get involved with a doctor and they've got a particular software that they're currently using, and they're looking for another biller, but they're not ready to switch just yet. You just heard Jude said, look, I will walk you along, but you also heard him kind of say, but you know what? Let's get you going again, and let's just kind of make it. And so let me share this with you. Everything that we do in life is to build trust with one another. And sometimes just building the trust just to get that client is some things that you might need to do. Eventually, you're going to want to probably put them over to iClaim. And there's a lot of reasons, because again, you can kind of see this full component of iClaim, EMRX, the clearinghouse, and the patient portal. So it's all together. You're not having to mess with updates or upgrades because it's a fully cloud-based system. Now, there's some other medical billing business opportunities out there that have some other software that is not a cloud-based system. And so what the difference is that with the difference between theirs and ours is that, number one, you would have to keep up with updates and putting up updated patches, and then you have to do all your own security. Well, with iClaim being a cloud-based system that again is backed by NextGen, that's a strong name in the industry. So this is not a fly-by-night company or something that's going to go out of business in the next year or so. NextGen's been around for a long time. And so knowing that you've got the security of a solid cloud-based billing system and electronic medical record system, and with inside of it, it's got the clearinghouse already, that's important. So I thought that was just a good stopping point for me to kind of share a little bit about the whole iClaim system. Now, this kind of paints it a little bit different picture, because what it's just showing you is that from the patient's portal, obviously a patient can log in. I'm sure we've all worked through some type of patient portal if we've seen any doctors here lately, especially since the pandemic. A lot of different things have occurred and helping patients have less touch in the office. So they're having patients fill out all their forms online and getting them back. Now, folks, what's great about this is that even before the pandemic, like 10 years before the pandemic ever started, the iClaim system already had a patient portal that was touchless. And they didn't have to fill out all the paperwork in the office. This could have all been done online. And then all that information flows into what's called the electronic medical record system, the EMRX. Once the patient arrives, all of that information is already in the system. It's already been validated. It's already got the information for billing. It's already got a lot of stuff already done. So with that already built in, you're already ahead of the game. So when the doctor actually sees the patient and exits, the doctor finishes their notes, and that information flows directly into iClaim, allowing you as the medical billing company to go ahead and process that claim literally minutes after that patient leaves the room or after the doctor gets through signing off on the chart notes. And once you've got that, then it's sent. And then when you're processing it, it's going through both the billing system and the clearinghouse simultaneously. Well, you can't get that out of any other system but the iClaim system. And that's what doctors want to know about. And that's why when we demonstrate this for you to your potential doctor, this is where the doctors go, okay, wow, I've never seen anything like that. Because now when that claim gets sent out, now it's going directly to the insurance companies. It's not going to some clearinghouse, then to the insurance company. Because in systems like a server-based type system where you've got to connect it to a third-party clearinghouse, but when you're shipping out that claim, it's going to a clearinghouse. Now, after it gets through with that clearinghouse, it may come back to you as a rejected claim, but not within inside of iClaim and EMRX. Because when you process the claim, it's kind of going through all that process. So if the clearinghouse says, hey, there's an error, you're not waiting a day or 2 days or 3 days later before you know about that. You can get it fixed and get it corrected and get it sent directly to the insurance companies. So that takes a turnaround getting those doctors paid back within 7 to 14 days, or really even less than that. And then the other part about it, before there's a question that came in, I'm going to get to that in just a second. But the other important part of it is that what's happening is that you're reducing the possibilities of claims being rejected and getting lost out there. So that's what you've got to understand. This is a huge advantage for you whenever you're presenting this to doctors and then allowing us to do these demonstrations for you. We'll answer a lot of the doctor's questions. So Jennifer's asking the question, does the EMRX work with pharmacies? Like, can the EMR send medications to pharmacies? No, it's outside of that scope. Now, let me back up. The electronic medical records, the EMR, it allowed the doctors to do electronic prescriptions. If that's what you're asking, Jennifer, then yes. So if the doctor's, seen the patient and then says, okay, you need amoxicillin or you need some, blood pressure medication or whatever it is, the doctor can pull up inside of the EMRX. And that's why I encourage you to go get back with the person who invited you to the webinar and ask them to do a live demonstration of both EMRX and iClaim. And they'll show you how the medications can be ordered directly from there, sent to the pharmacy, ready for the patient to pick up. So there is electronic part does that. And then Jennifer's also asking, does all insurances work? Because some don't comply. Yes, all of them that any insurance company that can receive claims electronically can and will be sent a claim through the iClaim clearinghouse. So there's one or two, what I kind of call mom and pop insurance companies that are still out there that sometimes you may have to print the claim and actually mail it. Yeah, actually mail the claim. And there are a few of those, but that's not anything against iClaim or EMRX or anything else like that. That's just because those insurance companies don't have a way to send it on. So that would be the only thing there. But I wanted to kind of stop here, kind of give us a break. I appreciate the questions that have come in. We're already at the bottom of the hour, like I've already said. This hour will go by faster than what you can even think of. But I'm going to restart the video. We'll go for a few more minutes with that. If there's anything important that I feel like I need to stop and kind of just share back with you, I'll do that. But let's get back to the interview with Patrick and Jude here. Let me get this pulled back up and get this started. And I think we can share. And I think here we go.
Well, you've switched all of them so far, so maybe she will switch somewhere down the line. It's usually money, isn't it? They don't want to pay that monthly access fee. Yes. But boy, once they start seeing that your rejection rate with iClaim can be so low, it almost pays for itself, doesn't it?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Now, are any of them on the electronic medical records, EMRX?
Yes, both. So I don't switch one and leave the other. I switch both. It has to be iClaim and EMRX or bust. So
right.
Because what's the point? If we cannot fix the entire system doing patchwork, we're just going to keep having the same problem over and over. So,
are all 7 of them on EMRX too?
Yes. Yes, sir, they are.
Well, that is fantastic, Jude. I'm so proud of you. I just can't believe that you've been building this business slowly but surely behind the scenes. You've got this, I would say, getting close to where you could just walk away from your other job if you wanted to. Maybe you've got some great benefits and retirement and so forth, but there's...
Yeah, about that, I passed that goal last year. So if the goal was to do this full time, yeah, I passed that goal last year. Around September of last year, I beat that goal already. But that was
now, if y'all heard him, he actually passed up his goal of what he wanted. I'll just read. Hopefully, everybody heard that. But he passed up his goal of where he wanted to be last year.
So that's why I keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, and hey, maybe you like what you're doing. Electrical engineering sounds interesting.
Yes, I do. I really do enjoy what I'm doing.
Now, what were you doing prior to joining ABS?
I was still doing electrical engineering. I thought
So you didn't have any background in the healthcare field?
Nope, none whatsoever. Zero.
What caused you to choose this business out of all the businesses you could have started?
Well, my criteria was something, initially I started, okay, let's see, something that I can use to supplement my income. Because I'm in the energy business, is sinusoidal, so it's not very stable. When they pay you well. When it's time to go, they let you go. So I went through a couple of layoffs, and I was affected by, at that time, I was affected by one of them. And so, like, all the anxiety, I decided, well, I needed something to help cope. Okay, I shouldn't be worried about income. So my criteria was, it has to be something that I can do at my own time. It has to be something that is flexible. I didn't need to be physically present at any particular location to do it. It has to be something that is scalable. And when I was doing that research, medical billing kept coming up over and over. Maybe because of the marketing that you did, that it kept coming back over and over. ABS kept popping up. I reached out to, I believe it was Eric.
Eric, yeah.
Yes, so I sent him a message, and he responded back, answered the questions that I asked, and he gave me some time to think about what we discussed. Then he followed up again, and I think by the time he followed up with me, I'd already made up my mind.
Well, you've just done terrific. Give me a feel for how you found your very first client.
Oh, yeah. So because I'm doing this on part-time, so during my lunch hour, I'll go to a medical plaza, my cards, all the flyers, and I'll just go from first floor to the last floor up and pass out flyers, talk to the front desk. Sometimes I'm lucky, they tell me to meet the doctors or the practice manager. I'll do that. And then I wasn't getting any traction. So I went up to DC to go take care of some family issues over there. And I met with one of my sisters-in-law. And she asked me about the business. I'm like, well, I'm pushing. I'm still looking for my first client. And she called one of our friends who owned a clinic, a family practice over there. She called her, told her about me, that I'm here. I'm standing in front of her, and I can help her with her billing, because she was struggling with it. So she gave me an appointment because she was heading to work. So she gave me an appointment to call her back about 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'd done with everything that I had to do in DC, so I was leaving. So 6 p.m., I was at the airport. I called her and we were talking. We spoke for maybe like 30 minutes. Told her about my background, told her what I'm doing, why I selected medical billing, everything. She was pretty impressed with what she heard. And then she asked me when I get back to Houston, I should give her a call the following morning so we can set up a demo for iClaim and EMRX. So I did that. It went well, followed up with her. And when I sent her the first service agreement.
Now, one thing I want to point out to everybody, number one, if you heard it, he actually used one of the techniques of what we talk about in training, which is a warm market. Always cold calling doesn't always work. There's ways that we're going to teach you how to do what's called warm market marketing. There's many other marketing techniques that are out there. But the other part I want to point out to you before we finish listening to him is that he is living in Texas, and because of connection up in New York or wherever he was, now he's doing billing for that And so what I'm sharing with you is that you may live in an area, but you may not be doing billing for the doctor in that same state. A lot of people ask, what are my territory? What's my territory for American Business Systems? It's really wherever you can get a doctor. So don't worry about it if there's other billers in your area, even if there's other ABS licensees within your area. That doesn't even matter, because you're going to find the opportunities out there to be able to build your business as big and as wide as you want to. All right, we're going to get back to the video here. Here we go.
She came back. There were some negotiations that went on my first time. So, but after I made the adjustment that she wanted, about 5 minutes later on, the first check hit my bank account. So that was my beginning.
So you got some sort of setup fee? Is that what that first check was?
Oh yes, I got a setup fee. My first client, first, second, third client, I got setup fees.
Good for you. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, that's great. Well, so that was just basically warm market is what that was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So what about the second client? How'd that one come about?
So the second client, because I wouldn't shut up about my business when I started, I was every piece of real estate, every piece of technology that I put my hand on, any software. So whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, I was always saying something. I'm doing medical billing. I'm doing medical billing. So I posted on one of the forums that we had that I was part of. And then I posted on my WhatsApp feed that I put a flyer over there, one of the flyers that ABS made. So I just put it up there and I changed with my business information. So I listed it in there. And one of my family friends, she saw it and she took a screenshot of the feed and sent it to her friend that was looking to set up a practice. Her herself was also looking to set up a practice, but because of COVID, she got cold feet and she didn't go through with it. But she sent that flyer to one of her friends, and then she sent me a message that, hey, I'll have someone call you the following day. It's like, okay. I wasn't sure what they were looking for. So the following day, her friend called and told me, hey, I'm looking to start a practice. I'm a psychiatrist, and how can I go about this? I have everything else taken care of, but I don't know about the administration part, the billing, the software to use, and all of that stuff. And I'm like, well, I can take care of that. Don't worry about it. We went to a conversation. We came to an agreement. And a week later on, she sent me a check. I have the physical copy, I think, of a setup fee for that. So that's how the second client came about. Someone I knew that recommended me to a friend. Should I go on to the other?
Yeah, so that was a referral. It sounds like a referral.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And even though that first lady didn't need you, she passed it on to somebody who did.
Correct.
That's great. Yeah. All right. So what about the third one?
The third one, this second client of mine was, I guess she was so impressed with what I was doing. She recommended me to her friend. And she's also a psychiatrist. She does both inpatient and outpatient. And she has, I think, like a 15-bed inpatient facility that she's managing. So we worked together. She sent me the setup fee and everything. But after we started doing training, she got COVID. She went into a coma for the rest of the year, right up to 2021.
She went into a coma?
Correct.
Oh my goodness. That was
Yes.
a serious case of the COVID.
yeah, she was struggling with it. Didn't even know she was gonna make it, but she pulled through. So now she's getting back on her feet, and she's setting up everything else that she had started. She's almost there, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, good. So what about the fourth client?
The fourth was a referral. So this practice had they signed up for iClaim and EMRX already, but they weren't sure on who to use for billing. And my phone rang like, hey, Jude, meet Dr. X, Dr. X, meet Jude, and that's how we started. So she already had everything set up. She just gave me access, and I took everything from then on.
That's great. Wow, that's an easy one.
Yes. Yes.
And then you've got three more that are just part-time, is that right?
Yes. So the fifth practice was also a referral from one of my friends.
And what type of provider is that one?
This is a family practice.
Oh, okay.
So she does family practice, weight loss management, and a bit of every other thing around family practice. So I was marketing to my friends, and she put the word out, I guess, and she got a hit. And someone contacted her. She gave them my information, and one Saturday, I was just after my meeting, I was waiting. I think I was waiting to go out, and then she called, like almost frantic, just panicking and everything. Like, hey, I need a biller, and they gave me your information and said you can do this. Like, can we work together? Pretty much was giving me the opportunity before I even asked for it. Like, okay, let's step back. Let's figure out what was wrong. Why are you needing a biller all of a sudden and all of that stuff? And it turns out the last billing company that she was working with wasn't following up on their duties. So I'll leave it at that. So I took over that account, and she started seeing like progress. And God bless the area of focus that she decided to focus on was COVID testing, vaccination, and stuff like that. So her practice went from literally nothing to
really busy.
She was seeing like 200 patients a day. So yes. So we really had to step up to manage that account to come back to where it is right now. So that was the fifth one. The sixth was a referral from my second client, the second account.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The seventh is a referral from my first client. And the soon-to-be eighth is also a referral from my first client.
Well, Jude, it doesn't sound like you did hardly any marketing except for that first client.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to stop it there only because I want to give some opportunity for some questions and to kind of start wrapping up here. We've got about 15 more minutes left, but you can hear what really Patrick and I have said for so long here on webinars, and that is, again, once you get that first client, usually your second, third, and fourth, and so on clients do come on board from other referrals. So it was good to see and hear Jude, and hopefully that's been an encouragement to you. Let me share a couple of the things on that he said about the marketing material. So all of these marketing pieces, you're going to get over 2,000 pieces of marketing material. and there's enough space and things can get moved around here pretty easily. Everything's digital nowadays. And what we're going to do, we're going to have your business name, your logo, and all of your contact information directly on these marketing flyers. And you'll get that. You're going to get a sampling of that in your initial package, and then the rest will come through once you give to support your logo information and all of your contact and what you want to do and where you want people to email you and where you want people to call you. That'll all go on the marketing pieces. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Patrick and I have talked about what creates failure in getting started. And that's when most people say, you know what, I've gone through this training. I may even have some marketing background. So I'm going to try to do things a little differently that's at least worked for me in the past. And typically what we've seen is that it doesn't necessarily always work. Now, it doesn't mean it won't always work. But what we do know is those that have stuck with the ABS program and through marketing and done the task, what we've taught people to do the warm marketing, go out and do some networking. And that networking is through networking groups. And so we're going to show you how to do that both online and in person. So nothing beats about being in person. And you never know when that next lead might come through is because of what Jude also did. He put his information out on everything, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on WhatsApp. He was sending it out to everybody. So folks, what you need to understand here, there is not just one way that we would say, if you just do this one thing, you're going to get a client. What we're saying is you do everything that we teach you, and what's going to happen is going to generate people to go, gosh, what is Jude doing? What is Bobby doing? Whoever else is, whatever's going on there, what are people doing? What's going on here? What's the buzz about? Because you're going to find doctors, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to put up articles, but you know what it's going to take? More than just the investment, and I'm just speaking to you directly here. You know, a lot of people think if I just put in enough money into whatever I do, if I buy the right business package, it's going to create success. Absolutely. I think if you do your due diligence and you find the right company and find the right business opportunity, the franchise that you want to do it, whichever one you do, and where you've got a passion, it will eventually work. But the thing about what I've seen over the years, whether it's new entrepreneurs or people getting in here with ABS or whatever else, is that they think, okay, I've spent the money, and all of a sudden, if I do the marketing, it's just going to start flowing in. The other part of investment is just investing in yourself, investing in the time that you need to put in, the marketing, the networking that you need to do. So, you know, it truly is letting your money work, putting in the right investment, which is you, and with the right company, and then do the rest of the work. Don't just sit back and go, boy, where's all the money? Where's all the business that ABS is going to flow through the door? If you do the things that you heard Jude do, just go back and listen to his testimony again, and I'll show you where you can pick that up from here in just a little bit. Simi just writes in, once again, Jude, congratulations. Your story is divine intervention of God's favor, which is encouraging for someone like me. And that's, you know what, that's why we do these interviews. Even though it's recorded, and you can see the person, you can obviously see this is a genuine man who's got a plan, a destination of where he wants to go, and that's what he's been able to do. The other part about marketing is the book, one of the books that I mentioned to you early on. That's The New Thriving Medical Practice. Now, what separates this book than just buying it off of Amazon, and it's out there, and you can see it has something to do with a post-pandemic world. It's talking directly to doctors in a post-pandemic world. You can see here is that what we're going to actually end up doing is putting your name on the bottom cover of the book. And you see it says forward by Susan Smith, or just exchange Susan Smith by your name, CMRM. And inside of the book, there's a spot there for the forward. It's you who wrote the forward. Now, you say, gosh, Eric, I'm not a writer. What do you think? I've got to write the forward to the book? No. We have a templated forward. If you want to take it, massage it a little bit and put it in your terms, get it back to support to make sure you haven't lost the message or anything. That's what's going to get printed into the book for you. Now, if you haven't heard some of the other webinars that we've done, there have been licensees who have just mailed out the book along with a letter, just introducing themselves to doctors. And you talk about a great way to get the doctor's attention, especially don't just send out a letter. Don't just drop off a letter at a doctor's office. Send it in a package that has some stuffing to it, obviously, and they're going to see that there's a book. It's going to get opened up by the doctor. And some night, the doctor's going to start reading through that book and go, yeah, gosh, who sent this book to me? And it's you, and your contact information is directly inside the book. And that's what you can't get out of any other business opportunities that I know of the marketing geniuses that's put this together, which is Patrick and some of the others. But to put this together along with Dr. Vicki Rackner, that lends support, that it's written also by another doctor. This is incredible. This is what people should be looking for and as they're trying to get their marketing going. So if you haven't gotten a chance to read that book, get back with the person that invited you and say, gosh, how do I get a copy of that book? Point me in the direction. I at least want to read it. And even if you do nothing else, just go find it on Amazon, buy it, invest in yourself a little bit, and do some of your due diligence as you need to do. Now, the area where you can go find Jude's, the full interview is on youtube.com/YABS. Go out there and go take a look at that. Go check that out. And now you can go listen to it, hopefully uninterrupted by a little bit of technical issue that we had here with Zoom just a moment ago. But go out there and go check that out. And you know what? If you want to talk to Jude, I bet you we can make some arrangements for you to talk to Jude yourself. So if you want to get out there and go, have a conversation with him, that's what you're going to want to do. There are some, besides him, there's some other folks out there that would probably love to talk with you and just kind of coach you along the way, kind of hear their story. And that's what this is all about. It's listening to somebody else's story and what worked for them and what maybe didn't work for them, and maybe some things that they would have done differently if they would have started right in the first place. So, folks, we are coming up at the top of the hour. We got about 6.5 more minutes here. So let me kind of just take you on the journey of some things that it's important for you to know. One of them is the unconditional 30-day 100% money back guarantee. As far as I know, there is no other business opportunity or franchise available on the market today that actually does and offers this. And there's a reason why. Number one, we want you to be completely satisfied with your decision. We're not here to try to twist your arm on webinars. The folks that have asked you to come to the webinar, I don't think any of them has ever twisted your arm. Hopefully, they've just been very educational, very helpful with you, because we know this is an important decision. And $28,990, just under $30,000 is not just chump change that you feel like anybody can lose. So we want you to make sure that your business decision is extended through your training. So get this, folks. You complete the paperwork, get your money together, complete the paperwork, and get it in. Sit through the training, the entire training. And at the end of your training, within 30 days of that start date, if you feel like you just made a wrong decision, just ask for your money back. Folks, what better way that you could come in and kick the tires, drive the car down the road, put a few miles on it, because in those couple of weeks there, your trainer is going to ask you to go start actually doing some work. It's not like the way that we used to do it. We used to have everybody come in here, which was fun. I can't say I don't miss those days, but we would bring everybody in. We'd stay here for 5 days, basically 4.5 days. Everybody come in, fly in on a Sunday, get here ready for a kickoff meeting come Monday morning. We stayed here through Friday afternoon, and everybody flew out back home on Friday. That was a great, great time. A lot of energy, a lot of unity that happened. But before COVID even started, we were already starting to do things online because we really wanted to give people a little bit longer to make their decisions. Because what it used to be is that you send your money in You would fill out all the paperwork, send your money in, come to training, and by the end of the training, you could ask for your money back. Well, that gave you 5 days. Is this really real? This is what I want to do. Folks, you're given an opportunity here that is unlike any other. So what risk are you taking? You're taking the risk of maybe tying up your money for a little bit, getting through training, then you're going, yep, this is what I want to do, and you just keep moving on. And then you, or in there, you may say, you know what, this is not for me. I just asked for my money back. And that is, and so just make sure, and I'll show you right where you can get that. So the first step that you need to do again is go get this research guide. Now this research guide is a full 60+ page downloadable research guide that you're going to get from the person that invited you again to the webinar. It's not anywhere on the website, so you got to request it. So contact whoever you need to contact and ask them to send you the research guide. Do that today. Don't wait. Just go get that done. You already know where the YouTube channel is. I already told you that. That's where you can go find Jude's information. Third thing is ask for the ABS licensee references. Folks, if you haven't called anybody, I don't know what you're doing. Just get the opportunity to go and start talking to some people. It costs you nothing. It may cost you 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour to get that done. But if you're serious, this is what you're going to want to do. Talk with the people that have gone through, sat through a webinar, sat on the fence trying to make the decision. Do I go with ABS? Do I go with somebody else? Do I not even go into medical billing? Folks, talk that over with ABS folks. They're going to give you the true skinny on everything that you're going to need to do. I've already mentioned through the webinar, take the time and do a live demonstration. There's nothing better than everything that you've done up to this point, your research guides, you're looking at the YouTube channel, you're talking with licensees, and then again, go through the iClaim system systematically. If you still don't get it, go through it again. Get your business partner, get your spouse to kind of sit in with you and say, are we making the right decision here? Take advantage of that live demo. Then lastly, just get a hold of the purchase agreement. Look through it. It's 4 pages long. If you've seen any of the other franchises, gosh, they mail you a complete stack and you happen to have an attorney to go through it. This is very simplistic. Obviously, it's written by an attorney, but just read through it. It explains the money back guarantee. It's very much in black and white. You get to see exactly what you're going to be getting into. Then once you've done everything else that you need to do, and you're ready to make that step, get your funding together, get it into ABS, finish up your paperwork, get it in, and then get your training scheduled. And then take that week or that 2 weeks or however long it's going to take you to get through that training and still think of it. I'm still evaluating through everything I need to do here at ABS. But folks, why do we do the 30-day money back guarantee through training? Is because basically when people get through that training, they know that they've made the right decision. Have we given money back in the past? Absolutely. We wouldn't be offering if we hadn't. Has it happened a lot? It is a handful of times throughout the 15 years that I've been here. But it does happen, and it's happened several, like I said, a handful of times where people have asked for their money back. But you know what? People appreciate the opportunity to kind of take through and make sure that they're making the right decision. And it's just a fair thing to do for you, fair thing to do with us, because the last thing we'd want you to do is take advantage, get started, and find out you're just not in the business that you really want to be in. So take advantage of that. Folks, it's been my pleasure. Gosh, like I said, it's already 5 o'clock. We're already up at the top of the hour. It looks like everybody stayed on. I appreciate even through the little bobble of the technical difficulty. I appreciate your time. You being here this afternoon, spending that time with me. Please feel free to go reach back out. Call us at 866-565-8413. Contact us. If you don't know who the person that invited you, get with us. We'll figure that out. Now, folks, we do these webinars every single Wednesday. I can't think in the 15, 16 years I've been around ABS that we've even missed a webinar. That's done every Wednesday, 4 o'clock Central. So make sure you adjust it to your time, sign up for the next one, get scheduled to do a demo, talk to folks. It's been my pleasure. James, thank you. He said it was great information. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody. Hey, have a great evening this evening. Enjoy. Keep cool. Don't get out there in the heat too much. So that is good. Somebody's just asking, is there a set schedule for training? No, it's just like a first come, first serve. So you're going to have a one-on-one training session with the person. So it'll just be kind of coordinated between their schedule and your schedule. So if you're ready to get started next week, I bet you're going to start training within the next few days after that. Hey, if there's any more questions, I'm going to kind of leave the question box open for the next couple of minutes. Is there anything else? Coretta says, thanks. James, I appreciate you, what you're saying. Thank you there. Folks, again, it's been my pleasure being with you here this afternoon. Actually, I kind of like doing webinars sometimes by myself. I get to do what I want to say and kind of lead it in the direction I want to go. But folks, as you can see, we do have a passion for what we do. So we appreciate your time. Have a great afternoon, great evening. Have a great weekend coming up. We'll see you next Wednesday if you haven't already made your decision to join us. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.